James Bond 007, Dr. No. Before Bond arrives, a British agent vanishes without a trace. James Bond, elegant, dangerous, and already on the game. Bond is sent to Jamaica to uncover the truth. Bond arrives in Jamaica, but even the welcome feels like a trap. The driver chooses death over answering Bond's questions. Bond finds Quarrel, a man who knows these waters and fears them. One location keeps appearing in the evidence: Crab Key. They sail toward an island no fisherman dares approach. On Crab Key, they meet Honey Rider, alone, resourceful, and hiding. The island's fire-breathing monster is no myth, it's a machine. Bond and Honey are captured and taken deeper into the unknown. This hidden base is modern, precise, and terrifyingly powerful. Dr. No reveals himself, a brilliant mind with a lust for control. Dr. No unveils his plan to disrupt global power from this hidden base. Separated and locked away, Bond studies every detail for escape. Using brains over brute force, Bond slips into the facility's core. He turns the base's own technology into a ticking time bomb. Sirens blare as Dr. No realizes Bond is dismantling everything. Bond confronts Dr. No above the surging heart of the reactor. Dr. No falls, consumed by the very power he tried to command. The reactor destabilizes. Crab Key is about to tear itself apart. Bond races back to rescue Honey before the base explodes.
Together again, they must escape the collapsing island.
The collapsing base becomes a maze of alarms and falling steel. They reach the water, the only path left alive. The fortress of Dr. No is destroyed in one final blast. Far from Crab Key, silence finally replaces danger. They wait to be found, carried by the endless sea. The mission is over, but legends are only beginning. James Bond will return.
From Russia with love.
Before the mission begins, the game is already being played. An unseen enemy tests the world's greatest agent. But this is only practice, and someone is watching. For them, murder is strategy. They will defeat Bond the way they play chess. Patiently.
And they already have the perfect trap.
A reluctant pawn is chosen to lure Bond.
These orders I must obey.
Bond is offered a decoding machine and a defector. The Lecter decoder and a defector. Understood. Observe 007. The compartments snap open. Impressive. And the knife? Press it. Now we're talking. Every step toward Istanbul is watched. Bond finds an ally in a city of secrets. Below the city, spies listen through stone. Kerim's methods are inventive. Even celebration can turn to violence. Bond survives the first strike. The meeting seems innocent, but both know they are being watched. She offers secrets. Bond searches for the truth behind them. A silent guardian waiting to strike. Their escape will be by rail, or not at all.
The Orient Express becomes their only path out. Inside the carriage, danger rides with them. The cost of the mission becomes painfully clear.
The assassin finally shows himself.
Strength alone won't save Bond now. Precision defeats brute force. Escape demands speed. But the enemy refuses to let go. Improvisation turns survival into victory. With the decoder secured, Bond must outrun the final pursuit. Outnumbered, he turns the environment into a weapon. For a moment, the danger seems behind them. But the architect of the trap has followed them. Victory invites the one mistake Bond rarely makes, letting his guard down. Even at the end, the mission demands one last fight. Trust, once doubted, becomes Bond's salvation. The game is over. The pieces have fallen.
Some evidence is too dangerous to keep.
In Bond's world, winning means knowing what to leave behind.
Lego James Bond Goldfinger.
Explosions always ruin the ambience. Time for a quick change before my martini gets warm. Shocking. Positively shocking. Some people simply cannot handle the electricity of my company.
Auric Goldfinger never loses, mostly because he pays someone to ensure the deck is stacked.
You're playing a dangerous game, my dear. Let's change the odds in the other fellow's favor.
Skin suffocation. He painted her entirely in gold. A very expensive, very lethal message.
Goldfinger is smuggling gold, 007. Your job is to find out how and put an end to it. Pay attention, 007. The DB5 has an ejector seat. I never joke about my work. Strict rules of golf, Goldfinger. Let's see if you play the game as cleanly as you claim.
A Nazi gold bar from the Bank of England. That ought to pique his golden appetite. His manservant has a uniquely lethal choice of headwear. A rather blunt warning to back off. The Swiss Alps. Beautiful scenery, but I'm only here for the heavy yellow Rolls-Royce up ahead.
You're a terrible shot, miss, and vengeance is a dish best left to the professionals. Goldfinger's security forces are quite persistent. Time to see what Q branch really installed in this car. Smokescreen deployed. Q would be proud, but we are not out of the woods just yet.
Odd job never misses. A tragic end for a girl who simply wanted to avenge her sister. A dead end. Sometimes, a gentleman simply runs out of road and luck at the exact same time.
Do you expect me to talk, Goldfinger? Or is this elaborate setup purely for your own amusement?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Unless, of course, you know something about Operation Grand Slam.
You won't get away with this, Goldfinger!
Who are you? My name is Pussy Galore. I must be dreaming. Let's enjoy the flight, shall we?
Kentucky, the heart of horse country, and conveniently close to the largest gold depository in the world. Operation Grand Slam, a masterpiece of logistics. Breaking into Fort Knox is impossible, but I have a plan. Delta 9 nerve gas. Goldfinger has no intention of sharing his spoils with his so-called partners.
We can do this the hard way, or we can negotiate. I prefer a gentle surrender.
Pussy Galore's flying circus is airborne. The countdown to the greatest heist in history has begun.
The gas is released, but thanks to my little chat with Miss Galore, it's just a harmless knockout spray. A flawless performance by the U.S. Army. Goldfinger believes he has just successfully wiped out the entire garrison. The ultimate bank vault, breached by the ultimate laser. He doesn't want to steal it, he wants to irradiate it. 7 seconds to spare, just enough time to prevent the economic collapse of the Western world.
Goldfinger always wanted to fly high. Now he's history. Shall we find a place to land, Miss Galore?
Lego James Bond Thunderball.
Colonel Jacques Bouvard. Dead, they said. But a Spectre agent's never truly buried until I close the lid.
No well-dressed gentleman should ever leave a castle without his personal flight hardware.
A quick wash and spin for the opposition. Now, let's see what M has on the agenda.
Spectre's number 2, Emilio Largo. He has a plan to hold the entire world for a golden ransom. A relaxing stay at the Shrublands Clinic, rest, recuperation, and the occasional assassination attempt.
I believe the doctor prescribed intensive heat therapy. Try not to overdo it, Count Lippe.
Operation Thunderball is a go. 2 atomic weapons, stolen directly out of the sky by a dead man's double. A flawless water landing. The crew is dead, the plane is hidden, and the world is none the wiser. 2 NATO atomic bombs. Largo's prize. The ransom demand will be delivered to London shortly.
£100 million or a major city gets vaporized. Every 00 is on the clock.
Nassau, sun, sand, and the beautiful Domino Derval, the sister of the pilot who supposedly stole the bombs.
Largo. He thinks he's a shark in this ocean. Time to test his nerve at the baccarat table. A friendly game of skeet shooting. We both know the other is deadly, but we must observe the social graces.
A waterproof camera with infrared film and a rebreather the size of a cigar. Q always delivers. Fiona Volpe, Spectre's executioner. When Count Lippe failed, she made sure he paid the price. The Disco Volante, a luxury yacht with a secret hatch in the hull. Exactly the kind of ship you'd need to move 2 bombs. Largo's security is tight. A midnight swim turns into an underwater wrestling match.
Miss Volpe, beautiful, treacherous, and holding a gun. Some women simply don't like to be kept waiting. The Junkanoo Festival, a perfect place to hide in plain sight if half of Spectre wasn't on my tail. A fatal misstep, my dear. You shouldn't have trusted your own men's aim. Searching the Bahamian shallows with Felix. The Vulcan has to be down there somewhere. Found it, but the nest is empty. The bombs are gone, and Major Duval's corpse has a story to tell.
Her brother is dead, murdered by Largo. Now, she's not just a bystander, she's my inside agent.
Palmaris' security system is quite primal. Largo intends for me to be an afternoon snack. A few minutes of emergency air, courtesy of Q Branch. Just enough time to swim out the back door.
The U.S. Navy Aqua Paris arrive. Time to stop Largo from moving the bombs to his target.
A silent war beneath the waves. The biggest scuba battle the world has ever seen. In this environment, you don't need a bullet. You just need to take away their air. Largo makes a run for it, abandoning the bombs and his men. The yacht is a hydrofoil.
Domino settles her family debt. The world is safe, and our ride home has arrived via airmail.
Lego James Bond. You only live twice.
An American spacecraft vanishes from orbit, swallowed whole by an unseen enemy. The Cold War is about to get hot. Burial at sea, a touching tribute, and the perfect cover for Commander Bond to return to the shadows.
The Americans blame the Soviets blame the Americans. I have exactly 3 weeks to find the real culprit in Japan.
Tokyo, a city of ancient traditions and modern secrets. My contact is supposed to meet me at the sumo tournament.
My contact is Aki. Fast car, fast driving. She belongs to the Japanese Secret Service, and she's taking me to Henderson.
Henderson had the answers, but someone made sure he didn't share them. Time to borrow the assassin's clothes. Osato Chemicals. The assassin's escape route led straight to this corporate safe. The paperwork tells a very interesting story. Mr. Osato claims to be a simple industrialist. The X-ray machine hidden in his desk suggests otherwise. He spotted my Walter PPK. A polite conversation is about to become a very impolite exit. Kobe docks. They are loading something heavy onto the Ningpo cargo ship, and Osato's men are desperate to hide it.
Helga Brandt, Osato's number 11. She offers me a flight to Europe, but I doubt she plans on landing.
A one-way ticket. The pilot bails out, and the controls are jammed. A perfectly orchestrated accident.
Always check for a secondary parachute, or at least be prepared to make a very hard landing.
Now the Soviets have lost a ship. The countdown to World War III is accelerating.
Rule number 1 in Japan. Men come first, women come second. A very comfortable alliance is forming.
Q Branch's finest export, Little Nelly, a heavily armed autogyro, perfect for volcano sightseeing.
Scanning the island cluster. Nothing looks unusual until 4 uninvited guests show up on the radar. Little Nelly has quite a sting. Aerial combat confirmed my suspicions. Osato's base is nearby.
Tanaka's secret weapon, A private army of ninjas. We are going to need every single one of them. An assassin's trick. The poison was meant for me. Aki paid the price for my survival. To infiltrate the island, I must become a local fisherman. The disguise is moderately convincing. To complete the cover, I need a wife. Kissy Suzuki. Beautiful, resourceful, and strictly business. The Ama girls. They dive for pearls, but today they are searching for a hidden submarine base. A volcano with a metal roof, spectacular engineering, and the perfect hiding spot for stolen spaceship. Kissy goes for Tanaka and the ninjas. I'm going in alone to stop the launch. Number 1. Ernst Stavro Blofeld. The architect of global chaos finally reveals his scarred face. Tanaka's army arrives just in time. The volcano turns into a massive battlefield.
Lego James Bond. Diamonds are forever.
My name is Bond, and my only business right now is finding the man who murdered my wife. Welcome to hell, Blofeld. A mud bath and a scalpel won't save you this time.
Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd. A peculiar pair of assassins, leaving a trail of dead smugglers in their wake.
Someone is stockpiling South African diamonds. My mission: enter the smuggling pipeline and find the leak. Amsterdam, the diamond capital of the world. I've assumed the identity of professional smuggler Peter Franks.
Tiffany Case. A hardened smuggler with a rotating hair color and a highly suspicious nature. The real Peter Franks arrived early. I had to convince him that the elevator was out of order.
The dead man makes an excellent suitcase. Tiffany is convinced, and our cargo is ready for America.
Wint and Kidd have a terrible sense of humor, and it seems I am the guest of honor at this funeral.
Saved by the local syndicate. The diamonds were fake, which made my life suddenly very valuable again.
Las Vegas, America's playground, where fortunes are won, lost, and occasionally smuggled. Willard White's aerospace facility. Apparently, they specialize in both lasers and lunar conspiracies. An unorthodox getaway vehicle. Not exactly a DB5, but it handles the Nevada sand quite beautifully. Plenty O'Toole. Named, she claims, after her father. A delightful distraction at the craps table. Willard White hasn't been seen in years. The only way into his penthouse is straight up the exterior. Double vision. Blofeld has perfected his plastic surgery. The trick is shooting the right one.
A perfect decoy. I just shot a multi-million-dollar dummy, and the real Blofeld has the upper hand.
Sleeping gas. A classic villainous maneuver. Blofeld is nothing if not a traditionalist. Wint and Kidd's desert delivery service. Left to bake in an underground pipeline. Never leave a 00 agent alone with heavy machinery. Now, to find the real Willard White. Bambi and Thumper, White's personal bodyguards. Beautiful, athletic, and incredibly violent.
A quick dip in the pool cools everyone down. With the guards subdued, we found the hostage.
The real Willard White, a prisoner in his own home for years, while Blofeld stole his entire empire. Blofeld slips away, a brilliant mastermind reduced to escaping in a floral dress. The smuggled diamonds. Blofeld built a giant laser refracting satellite, and the world's nuclear arsenals are the targets.
Baja California. Blofeld's control center is disguised as an oil rig. The cavalry has arrived.
Blofeld tries to slither away in a mini-sub. He clearly underestimated my resourcefulness.
A smashing end to Blofeld's grand design. The satellite is useless, and the world is safe.
A romantic cruise home interrupted by a fiery dessert. Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd have finally been liquidated.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
A beautiful day for a drive, though trouble always seems to find me.
The sea looks so inviting. A perfect place to end it all.
Hold on. You're not going anywhere. We have company. This never happened to the other fellow. Another loss. I'm afraid I don't have the funds to cover that. Allow me to cover the lady's debt. Consider it a down payment. Room service is remarkably aggressive this evening.
Mr. Bond, I am Marc-Ange Draco, head of the Unione Corse.
Marry my daughter, Tracy. She needs a man like you to tame her. Keep the money, but help me find Ernst Stavro Blofeld, and I'll romance her.
I didn't expect to actually enjoy my time with you, James.
We are quite the match, Tracy. Surprisingly perfect. Operation Bedlam is over, 007. Drop the Blofeld case immediately.
Resignation? Nonsense, James. I've requested a 2-week leave instead.
Blofeld is claiming a title. Count Balthazar de Bleuchamp. Interesting. Sir Hilary Bray, from the College of Arms. At your service. Next stop, the Swiss Alps. Blofeld's new domain. Piz Gloria. The perfect isolated fortress for a madman.
Welcome to Piz Gloria, Sir Hilary. I am Fraulein Bunt.
My word. The Bleuchamp Clinic certainly has beautiful patients. Ruby, are you awake? What are they doing to you here? This is no allergy clinic. This is a brainwashing facility. My angels of death will scatter biological ruin across the globe. It takes more than a few tartans to deceive me, Mr. Bond. Locked in the machine room. Time to find a creative exit. Just a quick slide down. Try not to look at the drop. They certainly are persistent. Better pick up the pace. Exhausted, cold, they are searching every corner of this village. Tracy? What on earth are you doing here?
Saving you, James.
Hold on tight, James. I'm getting us out of here.
Just blending in with the locals. Enjoying the race?
Tracy, when this is over, I want you to marry me.
If they want to ski, let's give them some fresh powder. Avalanche! Tracy, watch out! No!
I cannot authorize an official rescue mission, 007. The risks are too great.
If your government won't help, my family will. We saved Tracy today. Incoming fire! Brace yourselves, we're going in hot! Clear the area! Set the charges! We're bringing this place down! It's the end of the line, Blofeld.
It's all right. She's just resting. We have all the time in the world. It's all right. She's just resting. We have all the time in the world.
Lego James Bond. Live and let die.
3 of our best agents assassinated within 24 hours. This is no coincidence. New Orleans, New York, and San Monique. A coordinated strike against British intelligence. We need our best man on this immediately. Where is 007?
An unexpectedly early morning call, sir. I was just making coffee.
Your ticket to New York, James. Try to keep focused on the mission.
New York City. Let's see what clues this concrete jungle holds.
Watch out! The driver's been hit! Hang on!
Welcome to New York, James. The trail leads straight to Harlem. Fillet of sole. Seems I'm the only one dressed for dinner. You have a nasty habit of surviving, Mr. Bond. That ends today. Meet T. He has a rather unique approach to disarmament.
The cards say you bring violence and destruction. You are a threat.
Time to make a swift exit. New York hospitality is overrated. San Monique. Beautiful island, though my new partner seems quite nervous.
James! In the bathroom! It's a poisonous snake!
Just a little impromptu pest control. Nothing to worry about.
This island is full of bad omens. Voodoo is everywhere. Betrayal has a steep price here. Poor Rosie didn't stand a chance.
Kananga's private estate. Time to drop in uninvited. Pick a card, Solitaire. It seems our destiny is already written.
My power, it's gone. I am entirely defenseless now.
Hold on tight. This isn't exactly a standard public transit route. Mind your head. We've just converted into an open top.
Back in New Orleans, I have a feeling we're expected.
Trapped again. Mr. Big really needs to update his hospitality routine. Mr. Big and Dr. Kananga. Two faces of the same ruthless coin.
Her powers are gone.
Take her to San Monique for the sacrifice. A crocodile farm. A rather gruesome way to dispose of enemies. Stranded with hungry reptiles. I need to think on my feet. Stepping stones with teeth. A perfect, if dangerous, bridge. Let's put Dr. Kananga's operation out of business permanently. Time for a hasty retreat. Let's see what this boat can do. They're right on my tail! Navigating this swamp is a nightmare! What in tarnation is going on in my bayou? Flying boats! I'll have his badge for this! I must return to San Monique. They're preparing to sacrifice Solitaire. Baron Samedi, the man who cannot die or just a clay trick.
I've got you. Now let's go find Dr. Kananga's lair.
Kananga always did have an inflated opinion of himself. The voodoo never truly dies, Mr. Bond. Until next time.
The man with the golden gun.
Welcome to the funhouse. Let us see if our new guest can survive.
$1 million a shot, and I never miss my target. Someone has put a price on your head, 007. The man with the golden gun. Beirut, a lovely city, but the dressing rooms are a bit crowded.
Following the golden bullets to Macau. Now, who is this mysterious woman?
Tell me where Scaramanga is. Your life depends on it.
Gibson, he had the solar energy device. Scaramanga got to him first. The Solex agitator. In the hands of a madman, it's a weapon of mass destruction.
Custom gold bullets. Only one man in the world makes these, Q. If I pretend to be Scaramanga, perhaps High-Fat will lead me to the real one.
He is not Scaramanga. That is James Bond.
Captain!
A martial arts school. It seems I'm the guest of honor for a beating. I prefer a more traditional approach to combat, but needs must.
Lieutenant Hip's nieces. Remind me never to get on their bad side. Time for a swift departure. The river traffic is terrible today.
Partnerships can be so tedious. I'll take the Solex myself. Andrea. He got to her before she could hand over the device.
The Solex agitator. Finally. Now to get it to good night.
Don't make a scene, Mr. Bond. I have your associate. Don't make a scene, Mr. Bond. I have your associate.
He's got good night and the Solex. I need a vehicle. Fast. Move over! We're commandeering this vehicle for British intelligence. What in the world? Hold on to your hat, Sheriff. This is going to be a bumpy ride. Calculated risk. Just basic physics, really. A flying car. Scaramanga is always full of surprises. Panga Bay, Scaramanga's private sanctuary.
A duel between titans, Mr. Bond. The ultimate test of skill.
20 paces. May the best man win.
A carnival of mirrors. He wants to disorient me. Stay focused. You missed, Scaramanga. Your game is over.
James Bond, the spy who loved me.
A British nuclear submarine has completely vanished. No distress signal. Nothing.
Our Soviet submarine has also vanished. Someone is stealing our fleet. My apologies, darling. Something urgent has come up on the slopes. A rather breathtaking drop. Fortunately, I always pack for emergencies. Agent XXX, you must find the submarine tracking device in Egypt. 007, a microfilm containing the tracking route is in Cairo. Retrieve it. The Pyramids of Giza, a fitting place for shadows and secrets. Our contact Fekish has met a rather sharp end. Meet Jaws. He has a smile that can cut through steel. Agent XXX, I presume. We seem to be after the same microfilm. Truce? If we don't work together, the giant will kill us both. A rather bumpy getaway, Major. But at least we have the microfilm. It seems our oversized friend bought a ticket for the night train. I had to cancel his ticket. He was being disruptive. Right on time, Q. The Lotus Esprit. Let's hope it has some special features. Atlantis. Carl Stromberg's underwater kingdom. A monument to megalomania. Mr. Stromberg, you have a fascinating vision for the future of the ocean.
The locals here have terrible road manners. Hold on!
Jaws again. He just doesn't know when to quit.
Air support. Time to see what Q Branch really built into this car.
Can you swim, Major? Because we are taking a dive. Submarine mode engaged. Welcome to my underwater world. Stromberg's welcome committee. Let's send them a reply.
Torpedoes away! Q outdid himself on the weaponry.
Just a quick dip. Nothing to worry about, folks.
You killed him, the man I loved. When this mission is over, I will kill you.
We're aboard the USS Wayne. We have to find out how Stromberg is tracking them.
He's not sinking them, he's swallowing them whole with a supertanker!
We're inside the belly of the beast, and we are completely outnumbered.
He's taking Anya back to Atlantis. He plans to launch the stolen nukes. Arm yourselves! We are taking this ship back! All-out war in the tanker. Push forward to the control room.
Breaching the control room. It's time to change the targets. Reprogramming the missiles. They're going to destroy each other instead of New York and Moscow.
The Liparus is sinking. The crews are safe, but I still have to get Anya.
Hold on, Anya. I'm coming to Atlantis. Your Grand Underwater Society is officially cancelled, Stromberg. You really should take better care of those teeth, Jaws. The base is collapsing. Get to the escape pod, now!
You said you would kill me. But I think we're keeping the British end up, aren't we?
Lego James Bond, Moonraker.
The Moonraker space shuttle has been hijacked mid-air. The carrier plane is completely destroyed.
Pushed out of a plane without a parachute. I had to borrow one.
Jaws, he survived a free fall into a circus tent. The man is indestructible.
Go to California, 007. Investigate Hugo Drax, the man who builds the Moonrakers. Mr. Bond, you appear with the tedious inevitability of an unloved season.
Someone tampered with the centrifuge. A very dizzying assassination attempt.
Dr. Goodhead, an astronaut and a CIA agent, a woman of many talents.
Venice. Drax's glassworks are secretly manufacturing vials for deadly nerve gas. Drax's bodyguard, Chang, a master of kendo and breaking priceless glass.
Time's up for Chang. I need to find out where these vials are going. Time's up for Chang. I need to find out where these vials are going.
A gondola with Q-branch upgrades. Perfect for Venetian traffic.
Rio de Janeiro, Sugarloaf Mountain. But we're not alone on this scenic ride.
Jaws is biting through the steel cable! We have to jump!
A close call. Drax is moving his operation into the Amazon. River pursuit. Q's boat handles the Amazon perfectly.
Gliding into uncharted jungle.
An ancient Mayan temple hiding a fully operational space center.
A python pit. Drax certainly has a flair for theatrical executions.
You will be incinerated beneath the exhaust of my Moonraker, Mr. Bond.
We escaped the vent and stole their suits. Next stop, outer space. Orbit achieved. Now to find out where Drax is hiding.
A radar-cloaked space station and his master race of perfect specimens.
He's launching the nerve gas globes. 50 of them will wipe out all human life.
Drax's perfect world has no place for anyone different. Even you, Jaws.
The Americans tracked us. The cavalry has arrived in jetpacks.
A full-scale laser battle in orbit. The station's defenses are crumbling.
Heartbreak for Drax. A cyanide dart to end his madness.
Take a giant step for mankind, Hugo.
We have to shoot down the nerve gas globes before they enter the atmosphere. World saved. Now, I believe we are attempting re-entry.
Lego James Bond. For your eyes only.
A quiet moment of remembrance, rudely interrupted. Trapped in a remote-controlled helicopter, an old enemy is playing games at. I finally dropped him from my life, permanently. The St. George's, a British spy ship disguised as a trawler, hitting an old sea mine. Down it goes, taking the ATAC transmitter with it, the key to our entire nuclear submarine fleet. The British have lost their ATAC. I want it recovered for the Soviet Union. Our marine archaeologist, Sir Timothy Havelock, was searching for the wreck. He's been assassinated.
A peaceful marine expedition shattered by a hired killer. Melina Havelock. She witnessed her parents' murder and swore to have revenge.
The assassin is Hector Gonzalez. His villa in Spain is a fortress. Melina beat me to him. Now we are both running for our lives. My car's anti-theft system is highly effective, but terribly inconvenient. A slight downgrade in horsepower, but the Citroen will have to do.
A rugged little machine. We survived, but the mystery of who hired Gonzalez remains.
Christatos, a wealthy sponsor who claims his rival Columbo is the smuggler we want. Milos Columbo, the Dove. But is he really the villain here? It seems I've been drafted into a rather aggressive game of hockey.
Ski jumping. A sport made significantly harder when you were being shot at. Motorcycles on a bobsled run. Highly unorthodox, but effective.
Corfu, a beautiful evening with the Countess Lizzle, Columbo's mistress.
Loke, a silent killer who lets his dune buggy do the talking.
Captured by Columbo's men. Let's see what the Dove has to say.
Columbo is innocent. Christatos is the real smuggler, and he's working for the KGB.
A night raid on Christatos' warehouse. Time to settle the score. A message from the Dove. He had no head for heights anyway.
A message from the Dove. He had no head for heights anyway. The St. George's wreck. Melina and I are taking the Neptune down to find the ATAC.
An underwater graveyard. The ship is teetering on the edge of an abyss. We found the ATAC, but removing it without setting off the self-destruct is tricky.
An armored deep-sea diving suit. An absolute nightmare to fight underwater. A lucky break. Now to get the ATAC back to the surface. Christatos was waiting for us. He let us do all the heavy lifting. Keel hauling. A brutal pirate execution. Dragged over razor-sharp coral. Cut the ropes. Hold your breath. We survived, but Christatos has the device.
St. Cyril's in Meteora, Christatos' mountain hideout, completely inaccessible. Only one way up. A sheer rock climb without a safety net.
A most unwelcoming reception committee. Hang on! I've reached the summit. Time to bring up the cavalry.
Columbo finally settles his debt with Christatos.
The ATAC, Bond. Détente, comrade. You don't have it, I don't have it. For your eyes only.
Lego James Bond, Octopussy.
Cuba. My disguise as a local colonel didn't quite pass the inspection.
Fortunately, I packed a rather swift exit strategy in the horse trailer.
Agent 009, dressed as a clown. He made it to the embassy, but barely. The Fabergé egg. A priceless and a fake that cost 009 his life. A fake, sir? Kamal Khan wants this egg desperately. Let's see how much he'll pay for it.
Udaipur, India. My contact VJ seems to know my favorite tune.
It's all in the wrist, especially when you use your opponent's loaded dice.
Company retreat. VJ, I suggest we take the scenic route, quickly!
An acid dispensing pen and a listening device. Q branch always delivers. The Monsoon Palace, Kamal Khan's fortress. Time for a little breaking and entering.
General Orlov, smuggling Soviet treasures to fund a rogue operation.
Trapped in the guest room. Luckily, the pen is mightier than the iron bars. A swift exit. Now to survive the surrounding jungle. Kamal Khan considers hunting men a sport. I disagree. Sometimes you just have to go back to nature to escape. Q's submersible crocodile, perfect for arriving unnoticed at a floating palace. Octopussy, leader of a smuggling ring and a woman who knows exactly who I am.
Magda stole the egg.
Exactly as I planned. The tracker is inside.
Magda stole the egg.
Buzzsaw yo-yos, a highly specialized and deadly toy. East Germany. Octopussy's circus train is the perfect cover for Orlov's smuggling.
Orlov isn't smuggling jewels. He's smuggling a nuclear bomb into a US airbase. The knife-throwing twins, they killed 009, and now they're trying to punch my ticket. Orlov's fanaticism caught up with him at the border. Fell off the train. Time to borrow some local transportation to reach the base.
The police are uncooperative. Taking the train tracks is faster anyway.
Disguised as a clown, I have to warn Octopussy before the bomb goes off. 0 seconds to spare. The crowd thinks it's an act, but millions were just saved. Octopussy's acrobats launching an assault on Khan's palace. A spectacular show. Q's hot air balloon providing the perfect aerial insertion. Khan's flight is permanently grounded. The mission is a success.
Lego James Bond, A View to a Kill.
Siberia. Agent 003 didn't make it, but he found the microchip we were looking for. Improvisation is key. A snowmobile ski makes a rather excellent snowboard. 5 days in Siberia. I was quite ready to come in from the cold.
The chip 003 died for is identical to ours, but it was manufactured by Max Zorin.
Max Zorin, a wealthy industrialist whose horses win a little too easily.
A poisoned butterfly at the Eiffel Tower. Zorin's assassins are highly theatrical.
Mayday, Zorin's chief enforcer, and an avid base jumper. A half car isn't ideal for a pursuit through Paris, but one makes do. Infiltrating Zorin's estate under an alias. Time to see what makes his horses run so fast.
A hidden elevator in the stables. Zorin is hiding something underground.
Steroid-injecting microchips triggered by riding crops, cheating at a microscopic level.
My cover is blown. Zorin has arranged a rather deadly steeplechase. An obstacle course where the other riders are actively trying to kill you. Zorin decided to eliminate me by sinking my Rolls-Royce. Unfortunate for the car. Always keep your tires properly inflated. It could save your life. San Francisco. Stacy Sutton. Zorin stole her oil company, but she refuses to be bought off. Zorin's flying boardroom. He's pitching his grand monopoly to a group of shady investors.
A hostile takeover. Anyone who doesn't invest gets dropped from the project.
Zorin intends to trigger a massive earthquake to destroy Silicon Valley.
Trapped in City Hall. Zorin decided to frame us for murder and burn the evidence.
Going up, the stairs were slightly too warm for comfort.
We commandeered a fire engine. The local police were not amused. A rather bumpy jump, but we lost the police.
Infiltrating the main strike mine. Zorin has enough explosives here to shatter the fault line.
He blew the lake. Millions of gallons of water are flooding the fault. Madness! He's gunning down his own people just for the thrill of it.
Mayday realized Zorin left her to die.
Hell hath no fury like a woman betrayed.
She rode the bomb out of the mine. She saved Silicon Valley and me.
Zorin snatched Stacy. I hitched a ride on the mooring line.
A fight on top of the Golden Gate Bridge. Zorin finally took a drop in the market.
Lego James Bond, Living Daylights.
A routine 00 training exercise on Gibraltar. But routine is a word I rarely use.
Death to spies. Someone decided to make our practice exercise deadly real. An explosive finish to the assassin. Now, on to the real mission. Bratislava, assisting the defection of Soviet General Koskov. My job is to take out the KGB sniper. The sniper was a cellist. I don't shoot amateurs. A decision that didn't please my superiors.
The Trans-Siberian gas pipeline. A rather claustrophobic way to cross the border into Austria. Koskov made it to England. He claims the new head of the KGB, Pushkin, has gone rogue.
A highly explosive milk delivery. Necros, a deadly assassin infiltrating the safe house.
Koskov snatched right out from under MI6. I have a feeling there's more to this defection.
Q Branch, outfitting me with the winterized Aston Martin V8. A true classic.
Back to Bratislava to find the cellist. She thought Koskov loved her. He used her as bait.
A hasty retreat to the Austrian border. The local authorities are very persistent.
Laser hubcaps. Q's aggressive approach to traffic management. Outriggers and missiles. The Aston Martin performs wonderfully on ice.
We had nothing to declare but a cello. And a rather creative sled.
Vienna. The Prater Ferris wheel. A brief moment of calm in a storm of deception.
Saunders is dead. Koskov and Necros are tying up loose ends. The gloves are off. Tangier. I confront General Pushkin. It turns out he didn't order the assassinations.
A staged assassination. The best way to make Koskov think he's won.
Brad Whitaker, an arms dealer obsessed with military history and entirely devoid of sanity.
Betrayed and loaded onto a Soviet transport plane bound for Afghanistan. A jailbreak in an Afghan airbase. We met Kamran Shah, a leader of the local resistance.
The scheme is revealed. Soviet funds used to buy opium, sold for massive profits in diamonds. I decided to leave Koskov a little explosive present in his cargo.
Hijacking a heavy transport plane under heavy fire. Time for takeoff.
A desperate fight dangling out the back of an airplane.
He got the boot.
Defusing the bomb with literally 1 second to spare.
We delivered the bomb anyway. A little air support for our new friends.
Back to Tangier to finish the job. Whitaker has heavily armed himself.
He met his Waterloo. A new, sharper era of espionage has begun.
Lego James Bond, License to Kill.
Felix Leiter's wedding day. But a CIA agent is never truly off the clock. Franz Sanchez, the most powerful drug baron in the hemisphere, and he's making a run for it. We caught him. A rather unconventional way to reel in a catch.
We made it to the church on time. I even remembered the ring.
Sanchez escaped. He bought off the police and slipped right through our fingers.
Sanchez exacted a brutal revenge. He left Felix to the sharks.
They killed Felix's new bride and mutilated him. This is no longer official business. This is personal. Milton Crest's Marine Research Facility, a perfect front for smuggling. Kilifer sold Felix out for $2 million. I let him keep it.
Hand over the gun, Bond!
I resign. M revoked my license to kill, so I became a rogue agent, escaping my own agency. I'm completely on my own now.
Infiltrating the Wavecrest. Crest is hiding Sanchez money and drugs.
An underwater scuffle. Silent, brutal, and necessary. I punctured his profits. Millions of dollars of product washed away in the tide. Barefoot water skiing behind a seaplane. Highly irregular, but incredibly effective. Bimini, Pam Bouvier, a CIA informant with a short temper and a very large shotgun. Dario, a psychotic enforcer. Negotiations broke down rather quickly.
We fought our way out. Next stop, Isthmus City.
The heart of Sanchez Empire.
I needed to get Sanchez's attention, so I started spending his stolen money in his own casino.
Q arrived with some much-needed supplies. Even a rogue agent needs his quartermaster.
A signature camera gun, programmed to my palm print. Time to end this. Interrupted by Hong Kong narcotics agents. They wanted Sanchez alive. Irony. Sanchez rescued me. He actually believed I was an ally trying to help him. I didn't need to shoot him. I just needed him to turn on his own people.
He threw Crest into decompression chamber, a highly pressurized execution.
Dario recognized me. I found myself on a conveyor belt heading for a rather permanent shredding.
Pam arrived just in time. Dario finally got what was coming to him.
Sanchez escaped with the tankers. I wasn't going to let him get away again. He wanted to know why I showed him Felix Leiter. A fiery end to a brutal mission.
Lego James Bond, GoldenEye.
Arkhangelsk, Russia. A rather massive drop to start the workday. Infiltrating a Soviet chemical weapons facility. I was never one to knock. Agent 006, Alec Trevelyan, a good friend and an exceptional 00. Colonel Uramov. He gave Alec 3 seconds. He only needed 1. For England, James. No time to mourn. I had to catch a flight, and it had already departed. A bit of an extreme boarding process, but I made my connection. Monaco, evaluating a new suspect, Zinnia Onatop. She enjoys a good squeeze. She stole an experimental Tiger helicopter, immune to all electronic interference. Severnaya, Siberia, Boris Grishenko, a brilliant hacker with a deeply annoying personality. Aramov and Xenia arrived. They didn't come for the snow. They came for the GoldenEye. An electromagnetic weapon in orbit. It destroys anything with an electronic circuit. Severnaya was wiped off the map,
But one programmer survived the blast. Natalia Simonova, the new M. She thinks I'm a sexist, misogynist dinosaur. We're getting along famously. Q branch, a pen that's actually a class 4 grenade. 3 clicks arms it, 3 clicks disarms it. St. Petersburg, Jack Wade, CIA. A little rough around the edges, but he knows the city. Bond.
Valentin Zhukovsky, ex-KGB. I gave him a limp years ago, but... A relaxing trip to the spa, interrupted by Xenia trying to crush my ribs. The usual.
The Janus Syndicate. Zhukovsky set up a meeting in a graveyard of fallen statues. Janus is Alec. He faked his death, the scarring is real, and so is his hatred for England.
Alec left me and Natalia tied up in the stolen Tiger helicopter, along with a few inbound missiles. The one time I was incredibly grateful for an ejection seat in the helicopter.
Captured by the Russian military, Arumov killed the defense minister and blamed me.
Arumov kidnapped Natalia. I needed a vehicle that could handle the morning traffic.
A tank chase through St. Petersburg. Not exactly subtle, but it gets the job done.
I caught up to the armored train, a Mexican stando with Arumov.
Aramov is dead. Alec locked us in the train set to explode. Q's laser watch saved the day.
Cuba, searching for the hidden satellite dish. We found it. Or rather, they found us. Xenia Onatop. She always did enjoy a good squeeze. That one was her last. Natalia hacked their systems and rewrote the satellite's orbit. Boris finally chilled out.
For England, James? No. For me.
A hard fall for a fallen friend.
Lego James Bond. Tomorrow never dies.
A terrorist supermarket on the Russian border. And they were running a special on stolen nukes.
The Navy launched a cruise missile at the bazaar. I had to return my souvenirs via airmail.
The South China Sea. The HMS Devonshire believed they were in international waters. They were dead wrong. A stealth ship, undetectable by radar, carrying a drill designed to start World War III. Elliot Carver, a media baron who doesn't just report the news. He creates it.
Bond, you have 48 hours to investigate Carver. Fortunately, I already know his wife. Q branch, working undercover at an Avis rental. The new BMW came with a rather unique remote control. Paris Carver, an old flame who married my target. She was thrilled to see me.
Wai Lin, posing as a journalist, but her reflexes told a different story.
Carver's printing press. I found the GPS encoder used to send the Devonshire off course. Stamper, Carver's psychotic protege. We had a brief but violent disagreement. Carver found out about Paris. He sent his assassins to send me a message.
Dr. Professor of Forensic Medicine, outstanding pistol marksman. Observe the television. It reveals the intricacies of my plot. I always found Kaufman's lectures a bit shocking.
Trapped in a parking garage with Carver's men. Time to let the car do the driving.
Missiles, tear gas, and reinflating tires. Worth every penny of the rental fee. I returned the car to Avis. It had a few minor scratches. Okinawa, a high-altitude, low-opening jump. The only way into the South China Sea undetected. A dangerous drop into hostile waters. And the real work hadn't even started.
I found the Devonshire. The warheads were still there, but one was missing. Wai Lin again. Chinese external security. It seems our governments had the same idea. Wai Lin again. Chinese external security. It seems our governments had the same idea. Captured and taken to Carver's Saigon headquarters. He was already writing my obituary. A rapid descent. Carver's face made for a surprisingly sturdy escape route.
Handcuffed together on a stolen motorcycle. A true test of our cooperative driving skills.
Saigon traffic was dreadful. We decided to take the high road.
Carver's men were persistent, and their helicopter pilot was clinically insane.
We ducked. The helicopter did not. Problem solved. We infiltrated the stealth ship. Time to cancel Carver's broadcasting license. Carver wanted to monopolize the news. I gave him the front page.
Stamper went up in smoke.
The missile self-destructed. Tomorrow's news was saved.
Lego James Bond. The world is not enough.
Bilbao. Recovering Sir Robert King's stolen money, the banker decided to make a withdrawal of his own.
Negotiations broke down. I took the express exit. The money was booby-trapped. Sir Robert King was assassinated right inside MI6.
I commandeered Q's unfinished jet boat. Time for a high-speed tour of the Thames. The Q boat is surprisingly agile. It even handles a barrel roll.
The assassin blew herself up rather than be captured, and I took a rather painful fall. A dislocated collarbone. But Dr. Warmflash was kind enough to declare me entirely fit for duty. Ah, this is the new BMW. Titanium armor. X-ray specs. Always pay attention to the gadgets.
M sent me to protect Electra King. The man who killed her father, Renard, was hunting her.
Azerbaijan. Electra King. She was determined to finish her father's oil pipeline despite the danger. A peaceful ski trip interrupted by heavily armed flying snowmobiles. Caught in an avalanche, the inflatable ski jacket proved to be a lifesaver. Baku. I needed information, which meant paying a visit to my old frenemy, Valentin Zhukovsky. Electra lost $1 million to Zhukovsky, a highly suspicious payout. An underground nuclear facility, I met Dr. Christmas Jones, an American physicist with a festive name. Renard. A bullet in his brain makes him impervious to pain, and it's slowly killing him.
Racing through the oil pipeline on an inspection rig, Renard planted a bomb to destroy it. We couldn't stop the bomb, but we let the world think we died in the blast.
Electra was the mastermind all along, Stockholm Syndrome, and she took M hostage. Zhukovsky's caviar factory, I found him completely drowning in his own product. Electra sent a cleanup crew, helicopters equipped with massive tree-cutting buzzsaws. Q's beautiful BMW Z8, sliced cleanly in half. He's not going to be happy about that.
I returned fire. A little explosive feedback for the pilots.
Istanbul, the Maiden's Tower, infiltrating Electra's stronghold through the ancient aqueducts.
Captured. Electra placed me in an arrot, a slow, twisting execution.
A slow, twisting execution.
Zhukovsky's final act. He didn't shoot Electra, he shot my chains. A good friend to the end.
You'd never shoot a woman you loved.
I never miss.
Renard hijacked a nuclear submarine. His plan? Melt down the reactor in the Bosporus.
A fight inside a nuclear reactor. Renard couldn't feel pain, so I had to find a different way to stop him. He wanted a nuclear meltdown. I gave him the core directly. Christmas came early this year.
Lego James Bond. Die another day.
North Korea. A midnight surf insertion. Not exactly a holiday at the beach. Colonel Moon was trading weapons for conflict diamonds. But someone tipped him off about my true identity.
A hovercraft chased through a minefield. Moon went over the waterfall. I wasn't so lucky.
Captured. 14 months of torture. I was fully prepared for the firing squad. They didn't shoot me. They traded me for Zhao, Moon's top assassin. A trade I didn't authorize. Your 00 status is revoked, Bond. She took my license and locked me on an evaluation ship. I didn't agree with her medical assessment. I decided to discharge myself. Hong Kong. I needed to find out who framed me. A fresh suit and a ticket to Cuba was a start.
Cuba, Los Órganos. I met Giacinta Johnson. Her friends call her Jinx. A secret gene therapy clinic. Zhao was changing his face, but he couldn't change his terrible personality. Zhao escaped, but he left behind a necklace full of conflict diamonds bearing the crest of Gustav Graves. London, Gustav Graves, a billionaire who discovered a diamond mine in Iceland, or so he claimed. A friendly fencing match escalated into a broadsword fight that nearly destroyed the club. M brought me back in. Q Branch issued me a new Aston Martin, complete with adaptive camouflage. It was invisible. Graves invited me to his ice palace in Iceland, a villain with a flair for dramatic real estate. He unveiled Icarus, an orbital mirror satellite that acts as a second sun.
Gene therapy. Graves didn't just partner with Moon. Graves is Colonel Moon. Miranda Frost, an MI6 agent and Graves' right hand. She unloaded my gun, the ultimate cold shoulder.
Jinx was captured, tied down under a massive industrial laser. A classic trap.
I took the Aston for a spin to rescue her. The camouflage was incredibly useful. Zhao followed me in his Jaguar. Seems Q-Branch isn't the only one installing heavy weaponry in luxury cars. A heavily armed demolition derby on a frozen lake. Traction was a major issue. I drove Zhao back into the melting palace and brought the house down on him. I rescued Jinx just before she drowned. The Ice Palace was history. Graves was fleeing to North Korea in an Antonov cargo plane.
We caught a ride in the landing gear.
Graves used Icarus to obliterate the demilitarized zone. He was clearing a path for a massive invasion. Jinx settled the score with Frost, a lethal lesson in swordplay. Graves was wearing a control suit for Icarus that doubled as a high-voltage weapon. It was shocking. I pulled his parachute. He got sucked into the engine. The second sun was finally setting.
We grabbed a helicopter and drove it right out the back. A rather spectacular exit, even for me.
Lego James Bond, Casino Royale.
Prague, M's corrupt section chief. To earn 00 status, you have to make 2 kills. He was my second. The first one is the hardest, the second one not so much. I earned my license. Madagascar, tracking a bomb maker named Molaka. I decided to blend in. It didn't last. A foot chase through a construction site. He had agility. I had a stubborn refusal to lose. I cornered him in an embassy. Diplomatic immunity wasn't on my mind. I took the shot and left a rather large mess.
The Bahamas. Tracking Molika's phone led me to Alex Dimitrios, a middleman with bad taste and a beautiful wife.
Solange. I used her to find out where her husband was going. A cruel necessity of the job.
Le Chiffre, a private banker to the world's terrorists, and a man who weeps blood. Miami Airport. Following the new bomber Dimitrios hired, I secured a uniform and airside access. He intended to blow up the Skyfleet prototype airliner. I decided to take the wheel of the fuel truck. I clipped his own bomb to his belt. Le Chiffre just lost his clients over $100 million. The train to Montenegro. Vespa Lind, HM Treasury. She provided the stake for the poker game and saw right through my ego. Casino Royale. Le Chiffre organized a tournament to win back his clients' lost money. My job was to bankrupt him.
Texas Hold'em. $10 million buy-in. I needed to read his tells. He was arrogant, but dangerous.
A brief intermission. Le Chiffre's angry clients arrived for their money. We had a violent disagreement in the stairwell.
Vespa wasn't used to the blood. It changes you. I did what I could to wash it away.
Arrogance. I went all in on a misread tell. I lost the entire treasury stake. I was going to assassinate Le Chiffre with a butter knife.
Felix Leiter, CIA. I'm here to stake you back in the game.
Le Chiffre poisoned my martini with digitalis. My heart was stopping. I needed the defibrillator in the Aston. The wiring came loose. Vespa arrived just in time to plug me back in. I owed her my life. I returned to the table, and I took him for everything he had. Over $100 million.
He kidnapped Vespa. I went after them, but he set a trap. The Aston didn't survive.
Capture and torture. Le Chiffre needed the account password. I decided to make him work for it.
Ah! You'll get nothing!
Capture and torture. Le Chiffre needed the account password. I decided to make him work for it. Money isn't as valuable to Mr. White's organization as trust. Le Chiffre was out of both.
Lake Como. Recovery. I thought I could leave it all behind. I resigned from MI6. I loved her.
Venice. A romantic getaway. But M called. The treasury money was never deposited.
She took the money. She traded it to save my life. But a betrayal is still a betrayal.
A gunfight in a sinking palazzo. I shot the flotation bags to bring the house down on them. She locked herself in. I couldn't pry the cage open. I couldn't save her. She left me his phone number. The name's Bond. James Bond.
Lego James Bond, Quantum of Solace.
The chase is relentless. A wounded agent leaves a trail of pure destruction. Delivery complete. The shadowy figures pulling the strings are finally coming to light. We thought we knew the enemy. We were completely wrong about their reach.
Trust no one. The rot goes deeper than anyone inside British intelligence suspected.
Marked bills lead to a ghost in Port-au-Prince. The hunt resumes globally.
A hitman waits, but he underestimated the man walking through the door.
Marked bills lead to a ghost in Port-au-Prince. The hunt resumes globally.
Stolen identities open new doors. A dangerous alliance begins in the street.
Bullets fly across the water. Rescuing her was not part of the plan.
Except when Winner was much launted by a dominating. Dictators and businessmen make deadly handshakes.
The trail goes airborne. Next stop is Austria, where the elite gather.
Wilton High culture masks high treason, the perfect backdrop for a secret meeting.
A shadow network communicates in plain sight, entirely unaware they are exposed.
Time to introduce myself. Let's see who runs when the lights shine.
The exit is never quiet. Chaos ensues in the halls of high society.
I'm completely cut off. No backup, no cards, relying solely on old friends. That's the premise.
Forgiveness is a luxury, but vengeance requires an ally with deep pockets.
The ghosts of the past drink with you. Sleep offers zero comfort.
The receptionist plays spy. We require accommodations much better than a rundown motel.
The wolves gather to feast. Old vendettas crash the fancy desert party.
Betrayal strikes on a lonely road. Corrupt cops pull the final trigger.
He wouldn't care. It's a ruthless world that doesn't respect the dead.
A message sent in black gold. Their cruelty knows absolutely no bounds.
Taking to the skies. The barren desert holds a very dark secret.
Down into the earth. Surviving the crash is only the first step.
It was never about oil. They're hoarding the most precious resource. Water.
Fire consumes the desert stronghold. Revenge is a dish served incredibly hot.
Left with his own greed. Thirst will eventually break the strongest man.
Lego James Bond, Skyfall.
A stolen hard drive. A desperate fight. The mission goes catastrophically wrong in seconds.
Take the shot.
A single command ends a legendary career in an instant.
The shadows have come to London. The heart of British intelligence is completely shattered.
Some men choose to stay dead. Ghosts prefer the bottom of a bottle.
Resurrection is painful.
But a soldier always returns when his home is attacked.
The body is broken. The aim is entirely off. The agent is failing every test.
A new age of espionage. Gadgets are replaced by keystrokes and palm prints.
High above the neon streets, an assassin meets his match in absolute silence.
The target falls before talking, but a single gambling token provides the next lead.
Macau shines brightly in the dark. A playground for the world's most dangerous criminals.
Fear is a powerful scent. She leads directly to the man hiding in the shadows.
At survival of the fittest, a quick exit requires using the local wildlife.
A forgotten city in the sea. The perfect lair for a man who officially doesn't exist.
The rat catcher finally arrives. He has been waiting for this exact moment.
Two survivors of the same program. Only one was left behind to rot completely.
A cruel game of nerves. A life is ended simply to prove a dark point.
The trap is sprung. Reinforcements arrive precisely when they are least expected.
The monster is caged, but catching him was far too easy to be real.
A digital Trojan horse. By plugging it in, we unlock the front door for him.
The cage was part of the plan. He is now loose in the tunnels of London.
Deadly pursuit underground. He's always exactly one step ahead.
Total devastation. The city infrastructure becomes his ultimate chaotic weapon.
Vengeance in public. The sins of the past walk right through the front door.
An impossible rescue. Running is now the only viable tactical option left.
Going off the grid entirely. Trading new technology for reliable classic iron. That's the premise.
Journey to the bitter end. The final stand will happen where it all began.
No gadgets, no backup. Just old shotguns, nails, and a lethal home advantage.
The first wave breaks. Even a legendary vehicle falls to overwhelming firepower.
Complete annihilation. The house falls, but the rats escape into the tunnels.
The final debt is paid, the past is dead, and the mission starts anew.
Lego James Bond Spectre.
The dead are alive. A rogue mission in Mexico City begins amidst the massive celebration. An unsanctioned hit goes up in flames. The entire city block crumbles to the ground. A desperate struggle in the sky. The only prize is a silver ring bearing an octopus. Actions have profound consequences. The 00 section is completely shut down and grounded. Orders from beyond the grave. Find a man named Shiara and attend his funeral. Microchips and smart blood. Every single move will now be tracked by British intelligence. A gorgeous new vehicle was built for Agent 009, so I borrowed it. The widow holds the key. Grief makes way for deadly secrets in the heart of Rome. A dark gathering of the world's worst criminals, a sinister organization operates in the shadows. The ghost from the past speaks his name. The ultimate game of cat and mouse begins.
Blofeld. Bond. Blofeld.
High-speed pursuit through ancient streets. The newest assassin is incredibly relentless. A very expensive splash. Sometimes the only way to escape is to abandon the luxury ride. The Pale King is dying in a dark room. An old enemy offers one final clue. A deadly bargain is struck. Protect his daughter, and she will lead to l'American.
High in the snowy mountains. The Doctor wants absolutely nothing to do with assassins.
The brute strikes in broad daylight. She is taken before she can explain anything.
A hidden sanctuary. The coordinates point directly into the middle of the barren desert.
La Mer is not a person. It is a dusty room in a Moroccan hotel.
A plane without wings becomes a remarkably effective battering ram in the snow. Elegance on the rails. But peace never lasts long when you are being hunted. The giant cannot be stopped. A fight to the death completely destroys the dining car. A hidden fortress in the sand. The source of all the pain is waiting inside. Teamwork is essential. The invincible brute finally takes a very long fall. It was always him, the author of all my pain, sitting comfortably in his desert lair. A rock from space. He views himself as a god striking down from the heavens. Pain becomes a surgical tool. The name Blofeld is permanently carved into history. Quartermaster's gadgets always work! A single explosive watch brings down the entire base! A battle for the future of intelligence. Surveillance must never trump human judgment. A maze of memories and explosives. The villain returns with a terrifying new scar. Out of bullets and out of time. Walking away is the hardest choice a soldier can make.
Lego James Bond, No Time to Die.
The past always catches up. A shattered mask in the snow begins a lifetime of running.
Trust is completely shattered. When the trap springs, the only option is to jump. Forgive me, but the dead offer no peace. Only a violent reminder of betrayal. Time to let the car do the talking. Classic gadgets never go out of style. "5 years of absolute silence. Fishing in the sun. Hiding from a world of shadows. The CIA comes knocking. A missing scientist brings a retired ghost back to life. The number has been reassigned. It's just a number, but the rivalry is very real. 3 weeks training. The new contact is eager, dangerous, and incredibly well-dressed.
Ghosts of Spectre gather. A trap set by an African-American woman sitting inside a maximum security cage.
Excellent for 3 weeks of training. The extraction becomes a beautiful, chaotic ballet of bullets. The scientist is secured, but he is carrying a weapon that changes the face of war. A traitor on the boat. A brother-in-arms bleeds out in the dark, sinking water. Left to drown. The ocean claims a friend, but the agent refuses to die today. The weapon was MI6's creation. The government built the exact tool to destroy the world. The puppet master is locked away. But he still holds the strings to the entire mystery. Unknowingly infected, a touch meant in anger delivers a deadly, invisible, microscopic payload.
Tea time is cancelled. Decrypting the drive reveals a terrifying, global database of targets.
She has his eyes. The greatest shock of his life is waiting in a snowy cabin. Nowhere to hide in the mist. The hunting party closes in on the fragile family.
The terrain is treacherous. A devastating crash leaves them completely exposed in the wild.
For Felix, a brutal end for a traitor under thousands of pounds of heavy steel. Two 00 agents drop into hell. The mission is simple. Rescue the family, destroy the base. The ultimate tragic victory. Infected with a weapon that means he can never touch her again. You have all the time in the world. A legendary hero fades into the glorious, explosive light.